Welcome to the world of Wystie. This is the Rose of Cassiterite House. I felt like I was stepping onto the gallows, instead of onto a stage meant for worship. I would draw the folded up parchment from my jacket and begin to read. Today, we gather in celebration of my beloved daughter Juni. Those were the words I wrote not but a week ago to celebrate her upcoming marriage to Pen Howlite. Today, instead of celebrating their union, we mourn her untimely departure from this life. May spirit claim her. I'd like to take a moment to thank you all for your attendance. I am deeply honored for King and Queen Howlite, Prince Edic, and Howlite House to be in attendance. I'd also wish to specially acknowledge Lord, Lady, and House Tourmaline, Lord, Lady, and House Amber, Lord, Lady, and House Calcite, Lord, Lady, and House Kyanite, and Lord, Lady, and House Iolite. Your attendance means more than words can express. Juni was a bright young woman with a promising future. As heir to the Cassiterite House, I had every faith in her succeeding me one day. Her power and control over her magic was nothing short of prodigy. Her social skills exemplary. Her beauty was naturally unmatched, and she had every young man eating out of the palm of her hand. She could capture the hearts of every person in the room with a single dance. She weathered every storm with a smile. She would have been the most beautiful bride. She was the center of my universe, and I will miss her dearly. These last few weeks have not been easy for Cassiterite House. I would be remiss to not acknowledge the early departure of her cousin Combolt, whom we will also miss dearly. Sadly, many of you sat in these very seats only a few short days ago. For Cassiterite to be known as the House of Luck, and yet face so much loss in such a short amount of time, has caused me to reflect. Mostly, I've reflected upon the last moments I've spent with Juni. It was at her engagement party. At the start of the night, I must admit I was a touch on edge. Our workers spent the entire day hurrying around the estate in preparation. I was torn in a million directions. Everyone needed my approval on every little thing. But when she entered that ballroom, arm in arm with Pen, my breath was taken away. It only just dawned upon me that my little girl wasn't so little anymore. They were a handsome couple. Their adoration for one another was palpable. To think our little girl was grown up and about to be married brought a tear to my eye. And despite the appearance of a few unwanted guests, it was a splendid evening, one I will cherish for the rest of my life. To all of the parents in attendance, I beg you to hug your children tightly while you still can. I've selected a reading from the Book of Howl, Praise be to Spirit. Howl 5, verses 21 to 43. Howl crossed a great lake to find a crowd gathered at a shrine. Then, one of the spiritual leaders named Champion Jarus came, and when he saw Howl, he He fell at his paws. He pleaded with him. "My little daughter is dying. Please come and let her touch your gem so she may be healed and live." So Howell went with him. A large crowd followed and pressed around him, and a woman was there who had been subject to weeping for 12 years. She had suffered a great deal under the care of many apothecaries and had spent all she had, yet instead of getting better, she grew worse. When she heard about Howell, she came up beside him in the crowd and touched his wing, because she thought, if I just touched his scales, I would be healed. Immediately, her weeping stopped, and she felt in her body that she was freed from her suffering. At once, Howell realized that energy had gone out from him. He turned his head and asked the crowd, "Who touched my wing?" "You see the people crowding against you," his champion answered, "and yet you can ask, 'Who touched me?'" But Howell kept looking around to see who had done it. Then the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came and fell at his paws, and, trembling with fear, told him the whole truth. He said to her, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering." When Howell was still speaking, some people came from the house of Champion Jarus, the spiritual leader. "Your daughter is dead," they said. "Why bother the dragon any more?" Overhearing what they said, Howell told him, "Don't be afraid. Just believe." He did not let anyone follow him. When they came to the home of the spiritual leader, Howell saw a commotion, with people crying and wailing loudly. He went in and said to them, "Why all this commotion and wailing? The child is not dead, but asleep." But they laughed at him. After he swept them all out, the child's father and mother and he went where the child was. The father placed the girl's hand upon his gem and said to her, "Little girl, I say to you, get up." Immediately the girl stood and began to walk around. At this, they were completely astonished. He gave strict orders to not let anyone know about this, and told them to give her something to eat. Where's Howell when you need him? Is Howl Lighthouse sure he's not lurking around somewhere? I'd do anything. Give anything for Juni to, stand up and walk out of that mausoleum. But she can't. She won't. She's not asleep. She's gone. Yet, she lives on in our hearts. Because we are the House of Stone, and Juni is our centerpiece, that has not changed. Her brilliance shines brightly forevermore. We pray for her safe journey back to Source, and await the day to be reunited as a family again. Blessed be. Hi Wystians, Everly Teller here. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe to follow along. Don't forget to like and leave a comment. Additionally, if you're a fan of fantasy, and especially romantasy, subscribe for free to my Patreon to read weekly chapter releases of my web novels, and for bi-weekly releases of my audio drama podcast. Together, we'll explore the corners of the magical world of Wystie through narration, print, recovered artifacts, and